And a man who's, I've just been told, Rafael Kwato is the first Councillor of Trade, but he prefers to be called Rafael Kwesi Kwating. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Welcome, Your Excellency. Why are you fascinated about Kwesi Kwating?
No, it's just my Ghanaian name, no?
It's your Ghanaian name.
I thought it was a good way to...
So you converted the Kwato to Kwating.
Kwato to Kwaten, and then Kwesi because I was born on Sunday.
I see. Yeah. Interesting. Mr. Kwawa, welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very good.
Good to see you. How are you feeling these days?
Well, by God's grace.
What's the brain behind the Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition?
So, if you recall, in the 90s, we used to have what we call the Indotech, Industry and Technology.
That's right.
It was the biggest fair in Ghana.
Yes.
It was actually organized by AGI.
Trade fair.
Partnership with the Ministry of Trade and Trade Fair Company and all that. And it was a big platform for showcasing various items that were produced by Ghanaians and also research institutions that were developing technologies and products for the industrial sector.
Right.
Along the line, it fizzled out. The AGI was the main organization behind it. But we thought that for organizations like AGI, organizing all these industrial companies, we can't let it go.
Right.
We can't just be silent on things that we're doing. So we needed to have a platform for developing something like that. And I think in 2010, we had when we discovered the oil, we started the local content exhibition and conference. We expanded it beyond oil to mining, to industry, to manufacturing. And then about 6 years ago, we started the Industry Summit.
Okay.
So it's gone through phases. So currently what we have is the AGI Industry or Ghana Industry Summit and Exhibition. So basically the idea is that various products that are being produced by our companies, SMEs, big companies, multinational that are here, we must see those products.
Right.
Sometimes you visit some of these exhibition grounds and you wonder if some of the products you are seeing were produced in Ghana.
That's right.
Because you probably never thought they were done in Ghana. So such a platform gives you the opportunity to see the new products that have been developed. And then also we work a lot with our research institutions. So CSR has developed various products. University of Science and Technology, they are developing technologies. Some of our polytechnics, now the technical universities. We are bringing all these technologies that they are developing together on the platforms for people to see. And then also, very importantly, we are discussing issues. Alongside the exhibition, we also have a conference that are discussing issues of interest concerning industry, policy issues that we should take seriously, strategies for revamping the industrial sector, and so on and so forth. So that's actually the whole idea, that you have a big platform for discussing issues concerning industry. The issues of industry, we all know how important it is, but people need to know what is available in the country, what else can be done, and what can we discuss, and ideas we can churn out to help industries.
Kwesi Kwating, why is the European Union interested in GISE?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say that we have a very long-standing cooperation with AGI, and this is the fourth time that the European Union delegation is supporting this event. So, the main reason is that this is exactly what we are looking for in our cooperation with Ghana. The very theme of this year is industrialization through sustainable and efficient value chain, and this is exactly what kind of relationship that we would like to have with this country. As everybody knows, I hope, the European Union and Ghana signed in 2016 an economic partnership agreement. And this exactly economic partnership agreement for me is the key of our relationship. It's not only a free trade agreement where you can export duty-free and quota-free to Europe. It's much more. This is really a tool for companies to cooperate and to make sure that this country and in a way, the whole continent get this industrialization, which is really, really important. And if I may say, we are also very supportive of the Continental FTA project, which is an important, I think is a game changer for this continent. And we already supported financially and with technical assistance. And we think that this will be really the key for the industrialization of the continent, and in particular of Ghana, as we are
in what capacity is the European Union supporting GSIE?
So we're supporting in a range of ways. We support, of course, the organization. But in particular, we have this year we have decided to have a EU pavilion. So we will have an area where you can go and meet with representative of the European Union, business representative, and also all our projects that are here in Ghana will be showcased. So that's a key element. And the second important element of this year is that we will organize an event, a side event, specifically on agribusiness. Agribusiness and the agribusiness value chain are at the core of our intervention in this country. And so we decided to do an event where we will have some presentation, hopefully very interesting and very innovative way to develop the agribusiness sector in Ghana. And then we will have a panel discussion and a networking event. So we are really supporting to the fullest this event.
Mr. Kwaba, you tell me about the speakers and the venue, because the things that you two have spoken about as a preamble is quite juicy. But who will be addressing these issues?
Yes, so we have different sessions of the program. It's a 3-day program, well packed, from Monday to Wednesday, which is 18th to 20th. And we have an opening session. At the opening session, we've invited the Minister for Trade and Industry. This relates very much to industrialization.
Right.
So that's the responsible ministry. And we've also invited the Minister for Agric. Indeed, before then we met the Minister for Agric, and we were very excited about his vision for value chain development. He feels that the linkage between industry and agric is key. And therefore, if we want to produce for our country to grow, then we need to have the supply base very strong. And it means agric must supply industry the inputs that they need. So Minister of Agric is also a very key part of it. His Excellency, the EU Ambassador, they are partner in this, so they will be there as well for the opening. Fan Milk MD is a major company sponsor and partner in this program.
Okay.
We've always been working with VRA. He's been our long-standing partner since we started. Because in the energy area, there's also supply chain. In the energy area, there are local content development. And VRA has done very well trying to source. Today, we have even produced meters in the country. They're doing transformers. There are so many things we can source locally. The whole idea is that we must produce as much as possible in the country. When we talk about the value chains, agribusiness is key. But other industrial areas are also very important. Bottom line is that whatever you are doing, how much of it are you producing locally? If you only import so much of your raw materials and inputs and only add a small value, you don't get the best out of the industrialization agenda. So you need to have all this. But apart from the opening, we also have other sessions. One session will be to discuss the strategies of supporting the value chains. So the likes of Mr. Fusudote, Yansako, and the rest, Dr. Sego will be discussing this. And then we also have a session with the European Union itself, some of the European companies, and they have a critical issue on different models for supporting farmers and agribusiness. So they'll be talking about it. There will also be sessions for the industries themselves. Industries such as Guinness, Nestle, Fan Milk, Unilever, they will all be speaking. And here they'll be highlighting something very important.
Which is?
Most of these companies are sourcing some of their products locally. So if you're a local supplier, how can you position yourself to be an input supplier to these people? If you take Nestle, for example, today, a lot of the cereal we consume, they are actually sourcing the maize locally. Guinness is sourcing cassava to produce cassava beer. They are sourcing sorghum to produce Guinness and all that. So you need to know what is happening. Farm Milk wants to source about 80% of its local materials from locally. So, and a lot of these companies have this intention because it makes business sense. And for us as a development agency, we want as many companies as possible in Ghana to produce some of these items and supply to the big companies. And not just the big companies, even their own colleague companies, because small companies are also importing raw materials. At the end of the day, we should see a lot of value addition in our industrial scene. So that is the essence of this whole exhibition. So each of these sessions will be addressing these issues. So they'll be showcasing areas where the opportunities are. So if you're a small enterprise, how do you become part of this? They will be showcasing, they will be telling you about their policies, their regulations, their requirements. You need to know the requirements of this company. Otherwise, you cannot supply. They will not compromise on quality. Delivery orders must be met, but it is possible. So you need to know about it. And then we'll be talking about technology. these institutions that I talked about, the research institutions, they're also developing technology for industrial development. If you're a small scaler, you need to know which technologies are most advanced and can be very efficient in your production process. You need to know about it. And then trends in industry will also be talked about. So in each of this, we have the MDs of these companies speaking, and in their exhibition booths, they will give you more details and more interaction. I think it's also important to mention one interesting thing that we normally have, and that is the pitch competition, where we've actually put together a number of SMEs who are pitching for a possible award, and they are developing products. So they will showcase the product they've developed and the science of it and all that. And out of that, they'll be winning awards. McGill University is supporting this, and they are winning awards. The winner, for example, will get more than $10,000 and several other benefits. So and all of them are also going to get something. So you need to know what the developments are. If you're a small enterprise, you're a young entrepreneur, you need to know what is going on. You need to interact with people. You can't be in your own corner somewhere.
Be in your own corner, exactly. I see. Mr. Carter, let me ask you, how much money has the European Union pumped into agribusiness in Ghana?
Yeah. we are pumping quite a bit of money.
How much are we talking about?
Let me just confirm in my mind. So we have for agribusiness we have an important program to develop value chain. Certain value chain, in particular in the north of the country, because we know that is the area that needs more support, and this is around in the tune of 20 million of euro. But then we have also a program on food security, because especially in these current circumstances, we realize across the world there is an issue of food supply. So we are just actually will be signed next week a program with FAO, the office here, to supply food to Ghana for 10 million. So that's already in this particular area. Then we have, of course, as we were talking about industrialization, we think is key. The industrialization is really key. So we are supporting with other programs. We are supporting companies, in particular medium enterprises, to be capable to, first of all, to develop product and then also to export this product.
Okay, I see. Sorry.
I wanted just to say that a number of these companies will be also showcasing at the GISE. So there will be some stands and they can showcase the products.
Mr. Koba, I'm interested. To industrialize, you need a very good climate. Our inflation now as a country stands 40%. It just came down to 40%. What does the AGI think of it in terms of all the fine speeches? Everybody has enthusiasm. Minister of Agric is talking, Minister of Trade is talking, but you have inflation of 40%. I'm a young man. I want to start adding value, grow within the agro-business space. How do you guys do it?
Well, honestly, it's been a challenge for us. We had some stability consistently for a long time. But the recent developments after the COVID and after the Ukraine war actually destabilized the system, and it took everybody by surprise. So industries have been severely affected as a result of this instability in the macroeconomic environment. But I think that after the IMF intervention, we have started seeing some stability. What we need to be able to do is to consolidate the stability and then look forward to growth. Currently, yes, inflation is very high and we are not comfortable with it because it impacts on our bottom line as businesses. So but this is something you cannot just wish away. You need to have pragmatic system structures to gradually come out of it. And I think that the measures that have been taken now, we are gradually getting there. I'm happy that with IMF intervention, if you recall,
but your lending rate is up, inflation is up. If I'm a young business, yes. I'm at the bottom of the chain, I want to be part of the value chain, I want to be part of this big drive that you're pushing. Certainly, there must be some hope for me.
Yes, there must be some hope for you. And indeed,
where do I draw that hope from?
We are very concerned about it as well. Interest rates skyrocketing, and if you're going to borrow now, you're borrowing at 25-30% plus. It doesn't help businesses. However, as I said, you can't just wish it away. You need to have systematic plan to gradually come out of it. And I believe that as we go along, as for hope, you must always have hope. Without hope, you are just giving up, and that's the end of life. And that shouldn't be. Because within this, in the midst of all these challenges, some people are still doing business. People are entering, and people are making business and improving their bottom line. So out of the challenges, you must also identify opportunities. And exhibitions of this nature that we're talking about gives you such platform to create opportunities. So don't give up, still go forward and do something. I'm sure that with time, we would be able to consolidate the stability we are having and probably turn things around.
As a point of interest, we've been talking about industrialization for many, many years, and that if we're able to properly industrialize, it will cut down on our importation. We have substitution for it, and we'll be able to maintain most of the money that we have here and all of that. But can I dare say that it's all been talk, and that if you look at the things that we import into the country and the back and forth that sometimes you have with government on whether to block importation, you take off some taxes, add some taxes and all of that, how do we marry the two so that in the not so distant future, very, very soon, this will be a thing of the past? This is a point of interest.
Yeah, no, that's actually the dream of every Ghanaian. That's the dream of promoters of industries like us. And I believe that's also the dream of every government. That's right. Why you say there's a lot of talk around it. Yes, so indeed there's talk, but I wouldn't say it's only talk. I think if you look around, we still have some strong companies that are producing and processing. We have new companies that are being introduced on a regular basis. Companies from Europe, they are processing. So there is still some amount of processing, but I must admit that the pace is slow. It's much slower than we expected, and we would have loved to have a much more faster development in industry. But we cannot say that.
I'm just looking at my dining table items for my breakfast. Where do I source my sugar from?
Yes,
my milk, my bread, my whatever. If you aggregate the items on my dining hall table for my morning breakfast, afternoon lunch, and evening supper, a bigger chunk of it is not from here.
Yes,
but we have what it takes to be able to produce. What are we waiting for?
So that
I know, because they'll give you an opportunity, but I want to hear from my AGI president.
That's the point, and that's the concern, and that's what has been engaging AGI all these years. And you hear us talking a lot about these things because we want to see a bigger share of the pie being produced in Ghana. And that's the concern we have, and it's the reason why we're doing this kind of programs. You see, you cannot just overnight industrialize. You must have a plan. And the plan should be that there's financial component, there's entrepreneurship development component, there are structures that create a macroeconomic stability that enable people to invest in the long term with the expectation that they will get their returns.
That's right.
So when you have an economy that is a bit flip-flopping here and instability, it affects all this. But the point is that it takes everybody to come on board in order to achieve this objective. At the end of the day, if the producer produces and it's not getting off-takers, it's not getting consumers, as you said on your table, you have a lot of this from imported source. But I believe when you go to the market, sometimes you also see the locally produced ones. So you as an individual, why don't you also buy the locally produced ones?
At an expensive, much more expensive
not
rate
necessarily,
than
not
what
necessarily.
is locally produced.
That is always the argument, but it's not always the case.
That's a fact.
Well, but it's
in most of the cases.
Yes, but in addition to that, I mean, that's where sometimes policies come in. And that's why AGI has been a major advocate for right policies to support local production. The thing is that you cannot impose a ban on importation of products. The world order doesn't allow that. But you can be competitive. And the way to be competitive is to reduce your cost of production. When you reduce your cost of production and you upscale, you produce in a volume that you become very competitive. So the local pricing will be equally good as the imported one.
I see.
The point is that you as an individual, when even the local prices are good, do we offer the local?
That's a question.
One? So that is something that we should all make effort. Let's patronize the made in Ghana one. We talked about Japan all the time. Those days when Japanese products say it wasn't good, you don't have to buy, they decided to consume their own product. Today, where are they? I was in Korea last week, and if you see the product they've developed, industrialization at the highest peak, research, development, we should do the same. And I'm sure Ghana, we are not too bad. We can get there.
We can get there. Because you wanted to have a bite on this one quickly, and then we'll wrap up.
I mean, actually, I think
he's finished.
He has said the truth about this, but from my perspective, I'm a trade economist. The important thing is not you need import to export, What is important is the value added. It's not the what you then export. The example that you made of your breakfast. I also have an issue when I want to have a fruit juice here in Ghana. The closest that I found is some from South Africa, maybe from Thailand. But the fruit that is in the fruit juice is from Ghana. So the question is how to make sure that you have a lot of resources here in this country, how you process these resources and you create the value added in the country. And then you can serve your domestic market, and as you said, once you are upscale, you are ready to go for the continental market, you are ready to go for the European or the American market. So that's the key of the question.
Let's talk about the sponsors quickly and your closing thoughts, 30 seconds each. Who are the sponsors for this forum?
Yeah, so the key sponsors or partners in this, one is the European Union, that's why they are sitting us here there. And then we have the VRA, that has been our partner all these years. We have Fan Milk as a major sponsor and partner this year because of the value chains. They were carefully selected. We have the GIZ, then we have the Magri University that is supporting the pitch competition, Plan International. We also have support from UNIDO. UNIDO is also supported by European Union, the UNIDO Wacom project. Local companies such as Pomasidor, the Development Bank Ghana, the International Trade Center, the ITC, DDP, Ghana Post and Harbour Authority, Alliance for Support, and then we also have media partners as well, BFT, Graphic, City FM is the anchor, and all of you. TV3.
We give you a lot more time
so you have given us,
you pay for.
And we very much appreciate
please come back again.
So TV3,
we wanted you to come back again.
It's one of our major sponsors, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
So give us more airtime.
Yeah,
right?
so come again.
And cover the event.
Yes, we'll come. We have airtime. If you want, we'll give you, and then we'll take small money from you.
And then just a simple advice. I know you are doing very well, but I think that just as you said, I like your conversation this morning. If we all commit a bit more of our time, our resource, our energies to support Made in Ghana, it will help a great deal. So your airtime, create a special one for Made in Ghana, even if it's at no cost for the small enterprise.
We do it. That's why I took off my suit and wore my Made in Ghana.
Thank you.
Kwesi Kwarteng, closing thought, 30 seconds. What do you say?
I think that we are going for an exciting program next week. I think everybody should come to the GISE, and in particular on the Tuesday afternoon to the event that the EU is organizing.
Thank you very much. The GISC happening from the 18th to the 20th of September 2023. Gentlemen, I thank you very much. Sechuma Kwabwa is the AGI president. Yes. Say again?
The CEO of AGI.
CEO, yes. And Raphael Kwesi Kwato, the first Councillor of Trade of the European Union. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. So my commercial people will talk to you for further business. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. We are always happy to do business with you. *439#